White House brass reportedly tried to give KJP the boot. I mean, what took so long? What took so long, man? But she's not gonna go anywhere. She's the. This is what happens when you get these DEI hires that really don't know what they're doing. Don't not really qualify for the job. I mean, she's the worst press secretary I believe in history. Because most press secretaries, they're intelligent, they're smart. I can't remember the redhead name. I don't like her. I can't stand her. But she was at least good at what she was doing, good at deflecting. She knew the issues. KJP is just terrible. She just reads verbatim from the binder and she repeats the stuff that's in the binder. And she doesn't know the issues. I mean, she's just terrible. And again, this is what happens when you get these DEI hires. People that's not hired on their merit, not because they're good at the jobs, but because they fit some quota. She's black and she's part of the LGBTQ community, so she fits a quota to make it look like they're diverse. And now they can't get rid of her. She's terrible. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Caller from Nicole Silvero, and she reports that top aides and communications staff at the White House attempted to give White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre the boot by recruiting outside allies, the New York Post reported Friday. White House communications staff Anita Dunn allegedly told colleagues to communicate with prominent Democrats in an attempt to convince Jean-Pierre to step down and, quote, move along with her career, sources told the New York Post. She reportedly did so with the support of White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients, or Zients, or however you pronounce his name. But, quote, there were a number of people she asked to engage Karine, a source told the Post. Sources said both Zients and Dunn were attempting, quote, to find Karine and a graceful exit to avoid the negative optics of forcibly removing the first black woman and lesbian to serve as the press secretary, according to the Post. See, they created this disaster. Instead of hiring a person that's qualified for the job, again, you want to check boxes, and now this is what you get, one of the worst press secretaries in history. But, quote, there's a huge diversity issue, and they're afraid of what folks are going to say, a source told the Post. It's similar to VP Harris, Vice President Harris. I mean, she's a so-called black woman. That's what but all her career she's been called Indian, but now she's vice president. They call her black. But anyway, I digress. The first black vice president, so they can't get rid of her. They can't get rid of her either. And these, again, the DEI hires are coming to bite them in the butt. Well, White House staffers appear doubtful that Dunn's efforts will be successful as Jean-Pierre appears willing to stay, quote, come hell or high water, according to the Post. Hey, good for her. Don't let them push you out. You got the job. Shoot, don't let them push you out. I love it. I love the infighting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm petty. I'm petty. But staffers believe Jean-Pierre relies too heavily on notes from the binder and lacks understanding of the issues at hand, despite believing she is doing, quote, an amazing job, a source told the Post. Everyone knows that she's doing a terrible job. But, quote, Karine doesn't have an understanding of the issues, and she reads the book, the binder, word for word, a source said. She doesn't have a grasp of the issues and doesn't spend the time to learn. Of course not. That's why when people ask her questions of recent events, she have no clue most of the time of what's going on. Oh, it's not in the binder, so I'm not gonna speak on that. I'm just gonna speak on these issues. Well, at least the last one, I cannot remember her name. I never remember her name. circle back. She always say, "We'll circle back to that. We'll circle back. We'll circle back." She was good at deflecting. But quote, I think everyone's resigned to the fact that she's not going anywhere on her own. One source added, she thinks she's doing a really good job and thinks the president wants her to stay. He obviously, I mean, everyone knows that she's a train wreck, and everyone knows it except for her, it sounds like. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.